What a story it's turning out to be for Afghanistan at this ICC Cricket World Cup. We didn't expect them to challenge for a semi-final berth. We thought they'd come, they'd entertain us, they would play an exciting brand of cricket, and perhaps they would get a couple of wins. But as things stand, Afghanistan are in that race to make the semi-finals of this ICC World Cup. And what they won't tell you right now is that they have officially qualified for the 2025 ICC Champions Trophy. They've beaten the Netherlands by 7 wickets. Their net run rate has improved a bit as well. They have Whatmore, 1996 World Cup winning coach, here with me. Stories like this, you may not be a cricket fan, but a story like this brings a smile on everyone's face.
Absolutely.
It's a feel-good story.
I'm smiling, and I'm sure a lot of other people would appreciate the sorts of efforts and the hurdles that they've had to jump over the years to get themselves to a position to even participate and challenge other full member countries. And they've done it, and it's I'll tell you, this is just the start from what I see. I've been saying it consistently that this group of players, with the addition of, they need to unearth one or two more, and they're going to be even better, I think, as time goes on. So I'm really happy for them, regardless of whether they make the semi-finals or not. I think they've had a wonderful World Cup.
I think prior to this, they had won just the one match at the World Cup, that too in 2015. Right. And we heard the captain Hashmatullah Shahidi sing when they got their second win, this is already our best ever. So everything from here is just one more record. But just picking up on what you were talking about, in most countries, forget full member countries, but in most countries, what do you need to play cricket? You need a ground and you need sort of players around. Umpires, right?
Yeah.
Even that's been problematic in Afghanistan because you never know. There was a period when sport wasn't encouraged. Then you have the Taliban coming back right now. They're the regime in charge. Sport isn't available to all. There's also the fear factor, isn't it? You don't know how they're going to react if you lose all matches at this World Cup. We need to put that into context when we look at this Afghanistan story. We'll get to the cricket in a bit. But when we talk about challenges, this is massive. How many teams actually play them in Test cricket? And what are they playing in one-day cricket? They're playing all the smaller teams, the associate teams mostly, all the Zimbabwe's, all the Bangladesh's.
They were due to play Australia, I remember.
That got cancelled.
And it was just a one-off Test match. They were
in Hobart.
It was in Hobart. Originally, it was meant to be up north in the Northern Territory. They were so looking forward to the experience of playing Australian Test team, and they were seeing that as a definite, development stage of, getting better. It just didn't happen. Too often bigger sides tend not to give them fixtures because it doesn't make any money. Very sad, but this might change a bit now.
But in the case of Australia, it was also to do with the Taliban takeover, and they tagged it with the fact that the Afghanistan women's team had to leave, and most of them sort of were refugees. And we saw the players very passionately speaking. Shahidi, Nabi, Rashid, who go and play there in the Big Bash. That, yes, there's the politics, but what wrong have we done? In fact, you've experienced a similar situation with Sri Lanka, haven't you? When you went to England to play a Test series, you get one Test match. It's only after Sri Lanka won the World Cup and then beat England in that one-off with Murli's magic that people started taking Sri Lanka more seriously. That's
right. Then we got 3 Test matches, and it's always going to take a bit of time anyway to get used to playing in those foreign conditions. Even now, it's a bit difficult for the team to go and perform well, but they've earned their right to do that. This Afghanistan team, I think, slowly will be, giving everybody else in the world a little heads up that we're coming to be competitive. And I reckon if you drop your guard, you big teams, we're going to win. We're going to knock you out.
Let's look at the teams they've knocked out. We thought the England game, it was England's game to lose. They lost that. But then, it's now 3 wins in a row and all 3 chasing. They chased down against Pakistan, decent score. They chased down, it was 280 odd against Pakistan. Against Sri Lanka also they chased down. And now they've chased down against the Dutch as well. So slowly we've seen that a team which had question marks over temperament, over analysing the state of play, they sort of evolved into a good winning machine, Dav. We have the points table coming up.
If I'm any sort of judge, I look at that Ramat Shah, a number 3 player. He's as good as any other player here, technically. Wonderful temperament and a good technique. Easy on the eye. You know, I love watching him play. Gurbaz is a little bit different. He's a bit more of a go-getter, dasher, but also plays good shots. But this Ramat Shah, I'm telling you, he's as good as any other player going around in terms of his temperament and technique. He needs more opportunity against good sides to really showcase what he's made of. There he is, 52 and 52
in fact,
4 balls.
Third 50, I think, of this World Cup. The third 50. And all of those coming in these chases. In fact, Shahidi, the captain, who was there as a top order batter last time in 2019 when they had a miserable World Cup, Shahidi got a 50 as well. So I think his scores now, he got runs against England, if I remember correctly. He got an 80 against them.
And he doesn't like getting out.
Yes, and he got 58 not out in the last game. There was a 48 not out in that other chase, and in this chase, 56 not out.
His average must be huge.
Must be huge, yes.
Yeah, because he hasn't got out. They call it red ink.
Okay.
He's got the red ink. That's not out.
But how do you sort of associate their switch?
Here we go.
Through this tournament. Through this tournament, the way they've started chasing, and chasing without any panic. We sort of thought that when you put them under pressure, we had our doubts. But now it's 3 in a row they've won chasing. They're getting towards being India.
I think you find that it's a combination. First of all, you've got to have the technique. You've got to have the ability, the talent to do that. And secondly, it's the temperament. It's the mental skills to plan a run chase. And that the principle there is you can't get those runs in a handful of overs. You've got to bat time. And if you are batting time, then generally you're going to get a partnership going. The longer you spend at the crease, the more loose balls will present itself to you. And those are the principles that, you know, apply. And these guys, I think, with the help of a couple of decent support staff people, like, you know, Jonathan Trott.
Trott is there. India's Ajay Jadeja is there as well.
And Jadeja. They've obviously given some confidence to these players, and the little I've heard Jonathan Trott talk, it really impresses me.
Okay, let's look at the points table, and that tells you the story, because this World Cup is also going to serve as qualification for the Champions Trophy in 2025. It's 7 teams plus Pakistan who go through. If I turn right back, Afghanistan are 8. There's no way England can catch up with them. There's no way Bangladesh can catch up with them. That means they're through. And right now, they're not just through to the Champions Trophy. They're on a charge for this World Cup. And if I remember correctly, Dav, they have 2 games remaining, Australia and South Africa. So these are those 4-pointers you were talking about on our TV show.
It's tough games, but...
Yes, but they're not out of it. No, but they're in there.
That's right. They approach those games with a good mindset. If they were only 4 points or 2 points, then, you know, dead rubber, really. But they're in a position to approach those games really confidently. And, you know, the way they're playing, those teams better watch out. You know, don't take them lightly. Don't be complacent.
And how could you be if you've beaten England, you've beaten Pakistan, you've beaten Sri Lanka, who... barring that game against India, weren't that awful. You just had one bad game, as you keep telling me. It happens.
It does, yeah.
It happens. Yeah. But Afghanistan, what's going to be the mindset for these top teams? Because now the pressure's on them. I don't think there's any pressure on Afghanistan. For them, it's a jolly good ride.
Yeah.
As I said, everything for them is a plus.
I think the opposition, Diggy, would be really hoping that the surface isn't conducive to spin. Clearly, that's their strength. And today they played 4 of them, because one of them can bowl in the power play, and he does a good job. So, you know, that's taken care of. So they've still got 30 overs of spin in that middle overs and towards the end. So whoever they play, I'm pretty sure would be, hoping like, please let it be a fast bowler's pitch, but you never know.
Oh, you never know. In fact,
you got the venues?
No, I'm trying to look for it, but just looking at this, so we have Pakistan who are playing tomorrow.
Well,
and they're playing New Zealand. Suddenly, we could have this 4 teams here
on
8, and that is Australia's game starts a bit later. I mean, so at least for 3 hours.
Yeah.
If the game goes the distance, we don't know how England are playing at the moment, or if England somehow win, because they want to qualify for the Champions Trophy as well, and they need one more, sort of to get close to Netherlands. And I think their last game, England's last game is Pakistan.
Right.
England's last game is Pakistan. So then you could have these 4 teams in the hunt for these 2 spots. We never thought we'd get there. But somehow in the last 1 week, this World Cup suddenly become close.
Yeah, the final lap, like they turn the final corner, it's looking to be a bit of a sprint, to see
it's actually who, if you compare it to athletics, who has the better kick. When you look at, say, a 1,500 meters or the 5,000, so you have those pacemakers, but India have set the pace and they're not looking back. But towards the end, those who sit just behind the
peak
leader,
at the right time, right? And
then they wait, they patiently wait, and then when that final bell goes, then you see that ferocious kick.
Yeah, and they're peaking at the right time. So as each day comes and goes, really, it's a tantalising table, and tomorrow is even a bigger tantalising match. It's another double header, a double pointer.
And nothing fires up the bombs than facing Australia. And the Australians are salivating at the thought of knocking them out officially. I'm surprised they're down here with 2 points, and they're still not officially out.
Yeah, we all are, aren't we? Yeah. That's the way it goes. I mean, that's the way, the potential is with England even on 2 points. Can
make it.
Can. Yeah.
Netherlands also technically not out. Sri Lanka not out until I think these teams get to 10.
Right.
But then you'll find a lot of these teams at the bottom slowly eliminated.
That's right. So New Zealand are the first opportunity to take it to 10.
Yes.
And that's going to be a challenge.
But if they do, Dav, what does it do? If they go to 10, Pakistan are out.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, it's in their hands, isn't it? It's in their hands. It's more important for Pakistan to win than it is New Zealand. New Zealand can still make it as a semi-finalist, even if they lose. But it's more important for Pakistan to win.
Okay, let's just look at how this game has unfolded. Let's get that scorecard back up. We should reflect on the game. We've celebrated Afghanistan, but there was a cricket game that was on. Netherlands 179 all out. They were kicking themselves there. They were 73 for 1. And they were looking good. They scored 66 in the power play. So you're looking at 66 in the power play, and you've scored, 113 of the next 36 overs, and you've lost 9 wickets. And comical running between the wickets.
It's the only time they were in the game. The first 10 overs. In fact, I was watching that game and I was thinking that Afghanistan are not turning up. They are thinking it's, getting that wicket in the very first over, wonderful, but sometimes that can just lure you into a false sense of security here. They're thinking, it's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. But I tell you, I was sitting there watching thinking, what are you doing? You're not serious about this game. And it wasn't until a dreadful run out, Max O'Dowd, the senior batsman, opening batsman, who was batting very well, decides to turn 1 into 2. And a really good piece of fielding out in the deep fine leg boundary that, saw a beautiful pick up and throw. And he was short of his crease by, some distance at that level. And that started.
And then another run out. Another run out.
4.
And then another run out. In fact, the spinners took 6 wickets. The rest of the wickets fell to run outs.
It was, and really, 2 of them were really bad calling, bad judgment, and errors in judgment in terms of understanding is there a single there or not. And the non-striker also taking off when he could have sent him back. But
is that where the inexperience shows?
Well, generally you'll find, the run-outs occur, the confusion occurs square of the wicket. because everybody's taught as a junior, when you hit the ball straight, it's the batsman's call. When you hit it behind square, it's the non-striker's call, as a general rule. But anything forward or backward of square, either side, non-striker can't see the angle. Only the striker can see the angle. So he's
and you could be guilty of ball watching.
Yeah, no, you see the angle and you make an assessment, a judgment, and you are in the best position to call. So it's your call, but the non-striker has a say in it because he's coming to the danger end. So that's where you've got to have to shout as loud as you can your intentions, because people cannot, your partners cannot mind read what you're doing. In fact, if your actions suggest a run without communicating it and then change your mind, that's the worst thing that can happen.
Virat Kohli and Suryakumar Yadav the other day.
Yeah, I know. That was, and they were guilty of ball watching.
Yes, they were.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah. So, you know, it's like a contract. If both parties are not happy, deal's off. You know.
Yeah, in the case, deal's off, but somebody's walking back into the dressing room. But just looking at this, the spinners, Mohammad Nabi, economy rate of what? 2.94. Rashid again not getting wickets. This are the big mysteries in the world. I need to add this there.
But at least his economy's good.
Why is Rashid Khan not getting wickets?
At least his economy's good.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
But is that why? Is that perhaps what we are seeing? Teams just want to see him off. They don't want to take risks.
It is possible.
And that's creating pressure at the other end. And that's why the likes of Nabi and the likes of Noor Ahmed, who's again picked up 2. And who else got? I think Mujib got 1 as well.
Yeah.
On top of the order.
I know there are many games. You know, as a coach, we identify the danger man in the opposition. In a series of cricket matches, or in a triangular or a quadrangular, you know, now we're coming up against this fella who has got leading the wicket takers. If you guys can just keep him quiet, just milk him for ones, 4, 5 and over, without giving him a wicket, that's what we need. He can score off the others.
But I remember teams doing this to him at the last World Cup as well. And I know, but then is the onus on someone like a Rashid to bring in new tricks and try? He won't be sitting in the dressing room. He'll be happy. We saw him leading that charge, the victory lap. But Rashid Khan sitting in the dressing room, all right, hey, hang on, why am I not getting wickets? Does that to you as a bowler, has a bowler come up to you and said, you know, coach, team's doing well, very good, but I'm not getting wickets. Do I work harder? Do I develop new tricks?
Only once ever. That was Chaminda Bas.
Oh.
Yeah, he was.
What a bowler he turned out to be.
Yeah, that's right. He was. That would have been around about, I don't know, 200 wickets around about that time, and he's not complaining, telling me, coach, I'm not getting LBW. They're dropping catches off me. You know.
Well, hang on. So it's not that it's earlier on in the career. You think he had 200 wickets?
Around about maybe 150.
Which is where Rashid is right now. Rashid's around that mark.
Yeah. The point is that he was a little bit, you know, understandably, you know, inwardly focused, which is understandable. But you know, in order to change that, you've got to look at it in a different perspective. You know, the only answer to that is you've got to keep going. You've got to keep doing the hard things. It will change. You know, he was, to me, a pretty much underperformer at that time, and that's one of the reasons, and still an underperformer with the bat. Very good batsman, but didn't really give himself enough effort when he batted in competition. But very good player, and he ended up a wonderful, superb player for Sri Lanka. But yeah, there are some players who, you know, are a little bit like that, and they just need a bit of sympathy. But you've got to keep going. You've got to keep. And Rashid, I'd be worried if his strike rate, or economy rather, is high. Then you know he's bowling a bit of rubbish, and players are going after
35 dot balls. I think it's whichever match we've seen.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much there, right?
Yeah.
25, minimum 25 dot balls.
I'd be very surprised if teams have not discussed him in that way. Try and keep him out of the wickets column, maybe 1 if he has to, but just milk him 4 and over, maybe 5 if you're good enough. But he's a good bowler. Let's try and keep him out of the wickets column.
Okay, I've got the remaining fixtures for for Afghanistan, but before that...
They're tough. Yeah.
It's Australia in Mumbai, Wankhede. Yesterday, the ball can do something under lights. Perhaps if they bat first, put Australia in, and you never know what happens there. And then the game against South Africa is in Ahmedabad, at that big stadium out there. But what will it mean for...
It can be red or black, though, there.
Yes. What does it mean for cricket if they somehow get there?
Huge.
Would it be like comparative to Kenya 2003 or Sri Lanka winning in 96?
Possibly Kenya, yeah, definitely. Kenya got into the semi-final against India, wasn't it?
Yes.
In South Africa, yeah, it would be huge, and also it should, be a very positive knock-on effect for the associate countries, because this team wasn't that long ago came up from that level, from associate cricket standards. So that will be also, a good argument for the other countries to put up. Come on, man, we need more funding, so we can make it more competitive, make it a truly global game.
Those other countries, Dav, perhaps will have better cricketing structures than Afghanistan.
Yeah,
because Afghanistan, I'm not sure they have a proper cricketing structure.
How many turf wickets have they got there? Yeah. It's a good question. I'm not sure they got that many.
So there's talent clearly over there. And they're coming through, they're playing, they're honing their sort of talent in these T20 leagues, and they're learning.
It's amazing what they're doing. Absolutely.
Because I remember, Dav, when the first time we heard of them was when Sunrisers Hyderabad picked up Rashid and Nabi. And now there are many more coming through. It's not like it's just those two who have been holding the flag for Afghanistan. Now the Gurbaz was almost played all the matches he did at the last IPL. So they're getting there. Mujib is now a permanent starter almost in all games. Yeah.
You mentioned that Rashid Khan getting picked for the IPL in Sunrisers, wasn't it? I mean, I was amazed other teams didn't bid for him. He was clearly going to be a match winner. But he didn't.
VVS Lakshman was part of that.
Yeah, didn't get much competition in the bidding, and they were very lucky to pick him up.
Bargain buy, as they say. Okay, just looking at some questions. No more with Whatmore coming up. This is Afghanistan's remaining fixtures, obviously. But Lakshya says, semis or not, they are the story of this World Cup. 4 wins is quite something. Would you agree?
I did say that, yeah. Regardless of getting in or not, it's been a wonderful tournament for them. And more importantly, they're going to get better. Mark my words, they are going to get better.
Are they seriously now going to look at, yes, the Champions Trophy is there, but that 28 Olympic Games, T20?
Perhaps.
That's something they should be seriously targeting, right?
Yeah, why not?
The thing with these teams like Pakistan and Afghanistan, you think that over 20 overs, they don't have too much time to self-destruct. But in a 50-over game, we've seen that happen with Pakistan. But the maturity with which they are playing, this is all going to go back somewhere. Muscle memory is what they say, somewhere back. Okay, this is how we won. And this World Cup, the way they have chased, is perhaps also going to have an impression on Ibrahim Zatran, the young kids who are coming through.
Another good player.
There is a blueprint. We should do this. On this situation, this is how we play.
And keep developing, keep identifying some young gems out there,
Ajay says, another win for Afghanistan, it takes them to 8 points. It's going to make life tough for already struggling certain teams. We're in for an amazing battle for our semi-final spots come the last few weeks of the World Cup.
Agree.
Widhi, not many would have thought that the most successful Englishman at this World Cup would be Jonathan Trott.
Well, there you go.
That's a good one.
There you go.
Widhi, the best one we've heard today.
South African born, though.
Okay. Played for England?
Yeah.
With distinction?
Oh, yeah.
Good batter.
Absolutely.
Aditya, the team that impressed the most in this World Cup is Afghanistan. The young boys have showed very good performance. The experienced players showed their experience. And most important role of all was that of the captain. What a tournament. Okay, question from Akshay. He's asking, Akshay, super performance, but should Afghanistan have pushed the accelerator harder, especially towards the end? Because when we look at net run rate, could become a factor. Still behind Pakistan and way behind Australia and New Zealand.
I think the short answer is possibly yes. There was difficulty with the bowling team. The ball was getting wet. It was due. They had plenty of batsmen in, in the shed. Maybe they could have promoted either Nabi or Rashid Khan in the order to try and, accelerate it then. But, that was a very controlled and a good, solid win. But that was always a little talking point.
Okay, Gautam is the question, and we've touched upon this, but maybe you could explain to him. He's asking, can Afghanistan beat Australia and South Africa with the type of cricket they are playing? Afghanistan are playing. Can Afghanistan's brand of cricket unseat these two teams? Because if it's South Africa, it's at the end, so maybe they're resting a few players. You never know what happens over there. Australia is coming up next, and Australia is still not through. I mean, if Australia beat England tomorrow, they get to 10, and they have to win this to be absolutely sure. 12 takes you through.
With this, you're talking about the brand of cricket, right? Their brand of cricket was pretty much today 4 spinners, and also in Chennai, 4 spinners because of the conditions suited it. So if that's the case in the next game,
Mumbai.
It's in Mumbai, right? So
we played yesterday. India played yesterday.
Well, it's a good. It may also give a little bit of assistance to spin, but I doubt it. They'll have
SOS from the Afghanistan boys to their friends in India. Don't water the pitch. Hey, hang on. You had that suggestion in '96 in the final. I'm told people came down to the hotel. Hey, what kind of pitch do you want? It's against the Aussies. We're supporting you.
What, in the
96
in Lahore?
final Lahore?
Oh, no, I don't know that. That is news to me.
I've read this somewhere. What kind of pitch do you want? Maybe they didn't come to you. They went to Arjuna, perhaps.
Perhaps, but it didn't come to me. That's news to me.
Okay, I read this somewhere.
They won the toss and batted, and they were travelling. Yeah, they were hitting the ball nicely.
Ishan has a good question. Ishan, thank you for this. He's saying, is it time to sort of refer to Afghanistan as more than giant killers? And this is something you would agree with, because you've been telling me from the start that Diggy, their win over England wasn't that big an upset, because they qualified for the World Cup on their merit, and they qualified even ahead of teams like South Africa, who got in right at the end.
I wouldn't use that adjective.
Have they moved on from that?
Yes, definitely.
They're part of the established order.
Definitely, absolutely. Yeah, not giant killers.
John asks, have Afghanistan done enough to book a place in the Champions Trophy? Yes, John, we saw that. There's no way they're not playing that, unless the ICC rewrite the rules to ensure that England get in somehow. But according to the conditions that we are aware of, Afghanistan are through. There's no way they're not playing that Champions Trophy. Harshit has a question. He's saying, with the way things are going, do you think Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Pakistan are going to make the semis? Okay, let's leave Sri Lanka out of it. But Pakistan and Afghanistan, not out of it yet.
Both.
Let's get the points table back up. Let's do a bit of permutations and combinations. It's going to come
Mathematically,
up,
you can.
Yes, let's look at it. So, say Australia lose to England, they stay on 8. New Zealand lose to Pakistan, New Zealand stay on 8. So then you've got what? Australia, New Zealand, Afghanistan, Pakistan on 8. Afghanistan are playing Australia. New Zealand are playing Pakistan, and then New Zealand are playing Sri Lanka. So New Zealand will still fancy their chances of beating Sri Lanka and getting at least one win over there.
Yeah.
It takes them to 10.
So will Australia.
Australia have got Afghanistan.
But it is possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, it is possible.
Last 10 days of this World Cup, Dev.
Whoa.
Good to go. Okay, let's put you on the mat. Who do you think are going to be the top 4 now? As things stand, we have these 4. So, no doubts about India, South Africa, they're through. I mean, India are through, obviously.
Surely.
Yeah.
So South Africa.
The race is now here, right? 3, 4, 5 and 6.
You know what? I did say right from, a week or 2 ago that I think that will remain the same. I know it's...
You're sticking to your guns, are you?
I know that, Pakistan are going a bit of a roll, and, they're also getting some sympathy from a lot of people, and they deserve it too, and they're playing good cricket. I'm very happy for that. you know, New Zealand, this is just a huge game tomorrow. It really is.
Perhaps this chat will be better tomorrow evening. After the New Zealand game and after the Australia-England game.
Surely, yeah.
But I somehow get a feeling that England have played so badly
that they can turn it around. Yeah,
they can.
Yeah,
they won't win the World Cup, obviously, but they can knock the bombs off.
And also,
hang on, there are two key players not playing for Australia.
That's what I was going to mention. Yeah. Particularly Maxwell's bowling too. You know, they throw the ball to him knowing what they're going to get. So you know that's going to leave a bit of a hole. Batting, they can cover it. But bowling, I think, is going to be a little worrisome.
So, best time to have the discussion tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
Not today.
Yep.
As of now, you're sticking to your guns.
Yes, I am. I think that will remain, that order. Before it was, you know, Australia was 4, New Zealand 3. I thought that might change, and it has, but let's see.
Okay.
Yep.
Still hedging, still waiting to see how things unfold. But we can tell you one thing. Afghanistan have been the team of this World Cup. Yes, India are at the top of that points table, but you expected India to be there. How many of us expected England to not be there at this late stage of the tournament? How many of us didn't expect Afghanistan to even be there? We didn't expect Afghanistan to be up there. We thought they'd get a couple of wins and that's it. Great performance, but they're in the running for the semi-finals. So, on that note, it's time to say goodbye on this edition of Wion World of Cricket. Dave Whatmore is very happy because it's an early finish for him. He can head back to his hotel and he can tuck into bed and have a nice dinner, perhaps something stronger, and watch some movies, watch some cricket. That's what I'll do. So, you know, not sure about the strong stuff, but I will get back and watch a movie and just relax for the evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Wion World of Cricket.